Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. So, when shall we start? Tell me.
Yeah, I think that we can start. People are joining, but we can start the presentation.
Okay, perfect. So hello and welcome to everyone. Thank you very much for joining our presentation. My name is Andrea and this is my colleague Sylvia. We are here today to introduce the English language programs, health science programs of the University of Szeged, and to show you why we think that the University of Szeged might be the right place for you. We very much hope that you're going to enjoy it. You might already know where Szeged is, where Hungary is. Now let us show you where Szeged is. Here is the map of Hungary, and as you can see, Szeged is in the very southeast of the country, very close to the Serbian and Romanian border. Well, in the pictures, in the screen, you can see a few pictures. As you can see, Szeged is a very beautiful Mediterranean city, not too big, not too small, just about the right size for a student. Well, though by Hungarian standards, Szeged is rather a large city with a population of more than 160,000 inhabitants. In your terms, it might not be that big. Szeged is situated on the banks of the river Tisza, and it is a thriving university town and actually the cultural and economic center of the region. It is a city with deep cultural and historical roots. It was rebuilt after a great flood in 1879 when most of the city was destroyed by the river Tisza. And it's also called the City of Sunshine as it enjoys an average of 2,000 hours of sunshine per year. We are very proud to say that we were considered the safest city in Hungary in the year 2019, and we are one of the best university towns in Europe. A few words about the university itself. The University of Szeged is one of the largest and highest ranking universities in Hungary. It is a more than 400 years old institution, which is very proud of its traditions. Our university takes a very prestigious place in various rankings and is considered the greenest university in Hungary. We offer around 60 full-time educational programs for international students at 12 faculties. So you can study many things here, ranging from health sciences, arts, natural sciences, law, economics, and so on. We have around 800 employees and around 21,000 students. Nearly 20% come from abroad, from around 115 countries. Well, here are the different fields of educational programs that are on offer. I suppose the majority of you is interested in health sciences, such as medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, physiotherapy, and nursing. Now let's see these programs in details. Our oldest English language program, and maybe the most popular one, is our medical program, which was introduced more than 35 years ago. This program lasts for 12 semesters, 6 years. At the moment, we have more than 900 students studying in the English language program, and the annual intake is 200. This year, around 165 first-year medical students started their studies here in Szeged. Our other very popular program is our English language dental medicine program. It lasts for 5 years. The program was introduced in the year 2007 in English language. And at the moment, the faculty hosts 245 students, and the general intake per year is around 45 students. We also have an English language pharmacy program, which also lasts for 5 years. At the moment, they have 106 students, but they can take up to 100. So as you can see, this program is not that popular at the moment, but we very much hope that some of you might be interested in this as well. Our youngsters are physiotherapy and nursing. These programs were introduced in the year 2018. At the moment, we have 23 students studying physiotherapy and 10 students studying nursing in English, and their general intake is 20 per program. We also have a foundation year in English language, but I suppose you are all foundation year students at the moment, so you might not be interested in this one. Okay, let us talk a little bit about how the academic year looks like in Szeged or in Hungary. The fall semester always starts at the beginning of September. That's the time when the students go to their classes until the middle of December. So that's when the students attend the practices, the lectures, the seminars. And the examination period starts at the beginning of December and lasts until the end of January. You might ask whether the students have a break. Well, they can have a break, but this depends on them. So if the students are fast with their exams, then they can finish early and they can have even a break of a month. So it depends on the students. And then the spring semester starts at the beginning of February and lasts until the middle of June. That's when the exam period starts, and the exam period lasts until the beginning of July. The same applies to the spring semester as to the autumn one. Much depends on the student. If you're fast, you can have a long summer break, unless you have a summer practice to accomplish. There is one summer practice after the first year, which is the nursing practice. After the second year, there is no summer practice required. After the third year, students have to do an internal medicine summer practice for a month, and after the fourth year, a surgery summer practice. Well, and then in September, the next school year starts. Teaching is performed under the credit system and in modules. This means that students have to acquire a certain number of credits in order to be able to move on to the next module. There are also restrictions within the modules, so there are subjects to be fulfilled in order to be able to move on to the next year. But each year our students get a suggested study plan, and it is highly recommended to stick to that in order to be able to ensure the student to finish in time, to finish their studies within the 6 years. But if the student fails to accomplish a certain subject, of course, the subject can be repeated. So just to give you an idea, an examination can be taken for a maximum of 3 times within an examination period. And the total number of exam attempts in a course is 6. A course can be signed up for a maximum of 3 times, but only if the 6 exam chances have not been exhausted. So it is actually up to the student how one arranges his or her studies. So if you believe that you will not be able to make the exam after the 2nd attempt, then it is worth to repeat the subject instead of using up all the exam chances. But our academic officers are all here to help the students with setting up the perfect study plans, so we are ready to give you advices and hints on how to go on. We have compulsory courses, compulsory elective courses, criteria subjects. So this is how the subjects are categorized. A few words about the admission criteria for the health science programs. In most cases, the applicants need to sit for an entrance examination. These exams are currently organized online. How often or how many exam attempts are there? one student can try, or an applicant can try the exam twice if the chance is offered by the faculty. How does an exam look like? It consists of a written part and an oral part. The written part is monitored by the university via Zoom. In the exam, students need to answer multiple choice questions in biology, chemistry, and English language. The exam lasts for around 2.5 hours. And this is followed by an oral interview with a university professor. It is not just a chit-chat, but it is a professional interview where students are asked questions in biology and chemistry. Of course, applicants are provided with topic lists, so you can prepare for this examination. There are recommended books you can use. There are sample tests so that you can see what would be expecting you. And usually within a few days, the university decides on the acceptance. So the decisions are out quite soon following the entrance exam. As for physiotherapy and nursing, our students are not required to undergo the exam in biology and chemistry. Only the English language skills are tested. However, if one is not sure which program to choose, don't worry, you need to take only one examination for all courses. So for example, if you hesitate whether to choose medicine, dental medicine, or physiotherapy, you take one exam, and then at the end, we will see which faculty can offer you a place. For the foundation year, there is no entrance exam. There, you only need to prove your English language skills. There are certain cases when we are able to exempt the student from taking the entrance exam. This can happen if the student is an IB student, so studies in an international baccalaureate program, a GCE program, or is a BSc degree holder. So how does this look like? If an IB applicant, for example, applies to our school, then for the general medicine and the dental medicine program, the student needs to have a grade of at least 5 in English and in 2 natural science subjects, biology, chemistry, physics, or math, in order to be exempted. Something similar applies to GCE students. There, their result should be A. In case of the pharmacy program and the nursing and physiotherapy program, for IB students, a grade of 4 is enough, so it's a little bit easier to get in. As for BSc degree holders, the field of science should be either natural sciences, biomedical sciences, life sciences, chemistry, biology, dental hygiene for the dentistry program, and preferably pursued in English language. But the decision is always made individually. All the documents are evaluated by a board. Okay, a few words about the tuition fees. These are fee-paying programs, and the tuition fees are all set in euros. As you can see, in case of medicine, the annual tuition fee is 15,200 euros, which needs to be paid in 2 installments, 7,900 for the first semester, 7,300 for the second one. From the second year on, it becomes a little bit cheaper, 14,600 euros altogether for the whole academic year. And in the 6th year, half of the tuition fee needs to be paid in case, so for this tuition fee, the student is entitled to spend half of the 6th year practices here in Szeged, because I don't know whether you know that the 6th year is the practical year where the students do not have to go to classes anymore, so they don't have to attend lectures and practicals. They have to fulfill clinical rotations in 6 different disciplines, and these rotations can be done either here in Szeged or in Hungary, or also abroad in any country where we have accredited hospitals. There is a list of these hospitals, and if you decide to spend the practices in the European Union, then these are also accepted by the university. In case you would like to spend all the practices here in Szeged, then the tuition fee needs to be paid on a pro rata basis. Okay, as for dentistry, the fee is 15,600 for the first year and 15,200 for the upcoming years. Pharmacy is a little bit cheaper. There you can see the detailed list, and nursing and physiotherapy are the cheapest programs. Okay. Now let us see why we think that the University of Szeged might be a good choice. The University of Szeged provides high quality education with well-qualified training staff. We are especially proud of our Nobel laureate, Odet Szent-Györgyi, who was a former rector, dean, and researcher of our university. He was the first to isolate vitamin C from the Szeged paprika and was awarded the Nobel Prize. I have already mentioned that our university takes a prestigious place in various rankings, such as the QS World Ranking, Multi-Rank, Green Metric Ranking. Okay. Well, you need to know that our university campus is located downtown. It is located right in the heart of the city. So not outside the city, but straight in the city center, which means that almost everything is within walking distance. There are a few departments that are not in the city center, but public transport is quite extensive. So it is quite easy to reach everything via tram or bus. But the majority of our students use bikes, so it is highly recommended to have a bike here in Szeged. Okay, I have already mentioned that Szeged was considered the safest town in Hungary, so it is a place where parents can rest assured that their kids are at a safe place. Okay, we offer a supportive study environment by providing practical teaching in small groups. Our groups consist of about 15 to 16, 17 students per group. So they can get personalized attention, have ready access to lectures and tutors. Right from the beginning, students can take part in voluntary clinical work by joining either evening shifts at the clinics of the medical faculty. Of course, now during the pandemic times, it is a little bit different. However, there are many further opportunities to take part actively in healthcare, especially in these COVID times. The students can take part in COVID testing. They can do administrative assistant nursing and medical tests. And of course, all these activities are academically rewarded by the faculty. In upper years, special mixed language and clinical practice classes are offered to those who would like to improve their Hungarian communication skills. I didn't mention that Hungarian is a compulsory subject in the medical curriculum. You do not need to speak Hungarian in order to enter the program. However, you will be required to learn Hungarian because in the clinics, when you have clinical practices, you have to communicate, interact with the patients who not always speak English. Okay, we provide different mentoring systems in order to support students who face any kind of challenge during their course of studies, may them be academic or personal. So there is a teacher-student mentoring, student-student mentoring, and we also have psychological mentoring at the university. Well, at the university, students can prepare themselves to find themselves in a multicultural environment. I have already mentioned that our students come from around 115 countries from all over the world. We have students from Mexico to Japan and from Scandinavia to South Africa. So many, many nationalities are represented. Our students tend to call themselves as part of the Szeged family, as far from their homes, their parents and friends. Our students very much rely on each other and make very close friendships. Well, yes, about Szeged, we offer a rich cultural life. There are plenty of festivals, open air theaters, youth days where the students can participate. There are a lot of clubs, pubs, cafes, which are on disposal. Of course, compared to Budapest, Szeged might not be that vivid, but we think that students intending to pursue medical studies just have a perfect balance here in Szeged, so they are not that much distracted, but Szeged is not boring. Of course, this does not mean that. Okay, multicultural environment, I have already talked about that. We also have a very strong student union, ISUS. They are in charge of bridging the gap between the faculty and the students. So they are trying to help students in all kinds of academic matters. And of course, they have various programs on offer. For example, our International Cultural Evening, ICE, where our students can showcase their culinary skills and other skills. They can sing and dance and present their national dishes. Okay, and last but not least, we offer valuable degrees at our institution. Our diplomas are fully accepted within the European Union, and they are also acknowledged in several other countries in the world. There are countries where a licensing examination is required. Israel is such a country, Great Britain, the US, but we are very proud to say that according to the feedback we receive from our alumni, our graduates do very well on these licensing examinations. Okay, how to apply? We have an online application system called Dream Apply. That means that applications are to be submitted online. Everything has to be uploaded into the system. This, for the next academic year, the system is going to open at the beginning of January. Here you can see the link how to access the system. And here you can see a list of application documents, you know, usual things, passport photo, your diploma, if you are a high school graduate. But at the time when you submit your, or if you are not a high school graduate yet, and at the time when you submit your application, your diploma is not at disposal, no problem. You can upload it after graduation. You can even take the entrance exam before you graduate. You just upload it once you have finished. You need to upload a photocopy of your passport, a CV, motivation letter. If you wish to, you can also present a reference letter. This is only optional, but if possible, why not? You will need a statement of representation. That's a statement from you claiming who the representative was who helped you in the application process. You will need to present a general medical certificate, which is a certificate from your doctor claiming that you are fit to pursue medical studies. Photocopy of your birth certificate or any document proving your parents, your mother's name. This is important here in Hungary. Well, and you need to pay an application fee of 300 euros, which also contains the examination fee. Okay. So that's it actually. So if you have any further questions, please go on. We are here to answer them, and one of our students of here is also here. So please go ahead and ask. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Ophir, do you want to present yourself? Speak about Szeged, about your experience a bit before we take questions?
Yes, I'm Ophir. I'm a second medical student here. I'm 27 years old, and I also studied at Moshe Pre-Med. I really like Szeged. I think it's a great place. It's small and quiet, and we can't feel now all of the festivals that they talked about, but actually in the first year it was really, really nice and really happy place, and all of the people together drinking beer afternoon. And it's really cultural, as they say. There's a lot of people. My best friends are from Korea and Germany and from all over the world. It's really fun. Like, what else? If you have question or anything, or
Ophir, students are always asking if it's very difficult to study in Hungary.
My only comparison for now it's for Szeged, of course, but it's not easy. It's a difficult university. There requires a lot, and I think it's medical studies as well. Like everywhere, it will be difficult because it's a difficult topic, difficult subject. But I think it's like you feel that you are really studying here a lot, and there demands a lot, but you know a lot. Your knowledge is really, really getting well here.
And how is the attitude, for example, of professors if you have difficulties, if you have questions?
I think they are pretty. It's really easy to talk with them. There's an application that's called QSpace that we can send messages to all of the professors, to just all of the subject. If you have anything, they upload all of the material. It's really easier now in the Corona that we have it. Just for like short example, there's a girl now, Israeli girl, that came to Hungary and looking for a Hungarian teacher, and I approached to my Hungarian teacher and asked him about it, and he said yes, I'll find her a teacher. So it's really easy, all of the communication with them. I think it's really pretty well. And also the practices, it's really in small groups and you feel like it's very close relationship with the teachers, because it's about one teacher with 10 or 12 students. So it's also really, really great.
So you have 10 to 12 students per class?
Per class, yes. In the practices and the lectures, it's more. It's all of the year together, so it's much more. But it's just lectures. So.
Yeah, good. Andrea, there is a question to the office. If the university is preparing the students for the USMLE?
No, at the moment, the university has no USMLE courses. There are such courses organized in Hungary, so these are available, but currently not at the university. There were negotiations within the faculty. We had that earlier, better to reinvent these, but they have not come to a conclusion yet. You know, at the moment, we are struggling with the Corona thing, so it is difficult to impose or to introduce new courses, but this is a topic that the faculty is dealing with.
There is a question, is IB sports, health and exercise science included as natural science? Because according to her IB, it is natural science. So is it included?
Which course?
Sports, health and exercise science.
To get exemption?
Well, that's not considered for exemption, if this is the question.
Okay, got it. There is a question here about the clinical rotations that can be done in the student's home country. Can you speak about this a bit more?
Of course. Well, there is a list of all those hospitals that are accredited, not only by our university, but by the Hungarian accreditation authorities. So these are accredited by all four Hungarian medical schools. There are a lot of Israeli hospitals on this list. As I've already mentioned, the European hospitals are all accepted, of course, all that are accredited in that certain country. So this means, how does this look like practically? So if the student gets to a summer practice or to the 6th year, then the students need to provide a letter from that certain hospital that they are willing to take the student, and this is approved by the faculty. So in case of the 6th year, this means there is a competence list, not only 6th year, also for the summer practices. There is a competence list, and the hospital needs to assure that all those tests can be performed there. Once the practice is done, we get that paper, and then the student in the 6th year only needs to take the final examination here in Szeged, at the Szeged clinic. So this is how it works in practice.
And the tuition fee is reduced to about half, right, when they do it?
Yes. In the 6th year, half of the tuition fee needs to be paid regardless of where the student spends the practices. If one needs to do half of the practices here, that's okay. But if the student wants to do all the practices abroad, that's also okay. But that's the fee that needs to be paid in each case.
Thank you. Ophir, there is a question to you. Why did you choose Szeged over other universities?
Okay, I thought a lot about where should I go to study. I heard a lot of good things about Szeged from friends and from doctors that I talked with, and know students that came back from here. Hungary especially, I know that it's a country that the Israelis really like the students that come from here. And I didn't try to go to Budapest because I'm from a small village in Israel, and I preferred much smaller city and with no too much things that will distract me. So I preferred Szeged, and I think it was the right decision for now.
Okay. Andrea, there is a question. Can we apply to scholarships?
Well, yes, there is a scholarship offered by the faculty, the Albert Szent-Györgyi scholarship, which is granted on the basis of the academic performance of the student. So if you reach a certain average, then you are eligible for this scholarship. It is a monthly scholarship of around 40,000 forints per month, which is a contribution to the students' living expenses or whatsoever. Yes, so this is the scholarship that is offered by the faculty, actually.
And what are the criteria to apply to it? Is it socioeconomic state or is it achievements?
Achievements, on the one hand, academic achievement, so meaning the grades. On the other hand, academic activities such as participation in different projects. There is a so-called student scientific circle where the students can participate in. That means that they have to do some research and then they do presentations. There is a local scientific circle. There is one within the country. So if a student participates in that, that also gives plus points. If one is socially active, that is also an advantage. So it is quite complex how the students are evaluated.
But this also means that it's available only after first year.
Oh yes, I forgot to say.
Since academic performance is matters, then the students can apply only with like at the end of their first year, basically. So starting from second year.
Okay, thank you. Noah is asking, what is the dropout rate during the studies?
That's a good question. You shouldn't drop out. I mean, you have to study well. It's completely depending on the student. Like usually, you know, it's not that easy to drop out actually, because we have a system, as Andrea said in the instructions, when courses can be taken at least 3 times. So basically, if, for example, like a student would struggle in a subject in the first semester and let's say like fail at the end of the semester, it's still not end of the career, because especially from the first to the second semester, they can carry subjects, maximum 2 subjects can be carried as examination courses. And then basically the academic year goes on as if nothing happened. But of course, it's a bit harder at the end of the second semester because they have to finish those examinations as well, like the first semester exam and then the second semester exam as well, because they need to, you know, complete these requirements in order to get into the second year. But if the worst come to the worst and then the second attempt would fail again, then they have again a chance to carry the subjects to the next semester, to the third one. If, and as Andrea said, there are examination chances left, at least one examination chance. So this is what we used to, because I had first year students for 10 years. So this is what I told them always, that, okay, so you tried 3 times, you failed, then you carry. And then before you would go for the third, for the third exam, that is the 6th in the second semester, you just stop and think it over. Because if you're 100% sure that you will pass, then let's just do it and try it. But if you are not, then you just stop now, carry it, and like for the next year. Of course, it means that your studies will last longer than 6 years, because it's like a repetition, like the whole year, like, I mean, for those courses. But then at least you will not drop out, but you have 1 more semester to try and to see if it is really going. And it was working actually, that's why the subjects are limited to 2, because this is the amount of the exams that the students can handle by the end, if they have to do them all at the end of the second semester, for example. And if this goes on like this during the whole course of studies, that you have the chance to carry the subject from one semester to another. Of course, sometimes it might mean that you have to do a year, like, or you will have 1 extra year because of that subject. But, you know, it, like, I could see a lot of students who could make it finally, and then they just receive their diploma, even if they had to carry a course or another, or even repeat a semester.
So it's very difficult to define the term drop out, because if you think of how many students started and how many received a diploma at the end, that can be a dropout. But you know, there are students who just transfer to another school, go back to their home country because they get a place there where they don't have to pay a tuition fee. So it is difficult to define dropout. But if you are very curious about that, so if there is a year starting with 160 students, at the end, usually around half of them, or 80, yeah, approximately 80, get their degree finally here from our institution.
But all students get a fair chance.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Sylvia said, there are so many variations and options. If one is not successful in one subject, then that's not the end of the world. So one can repeat it. There are different ways of repeating a subject. Maybe you just need to redo the exam. Sometimes you need to do the whole course again, so you have to attend the classes again. So there are many options.
And the tuition fee is, you know, like following this. So like, but for example, from the from the first to the second semester, like there is no fee for the examination courses. It is included in the tuition fee. But if it comes to the third try of that same subject, that means a repetition, because the third time is a complete repeat actually. Then the universities, like the tuition fees calculated on the basis of how many courses are taken or repeated at the same time on this semester. So the tuition fee also, you know, follows this procedure if it's repeated or not. If it's an examination course, that it's included in the tuition fee, so no extra fee for that.
Thank you. Ofir, there is a question about sport activity in Szeged. If it's possible to do sport, what kind of sport?
There is actually, I climbed a lot in Israel for like 5 or 6 years. And there's a small climbing gym here. There's a lot of gyms, a lot. I don't know even the number. And yeah, there's parks with like facilities and running, like the running things. So yes, I think there is a lot of opportunities, and it's a very small city, so you can reach anyway, everywhere with any way. I'm walking everywhere, and it's still not more than 20 minutes to get to the gym.
Physical education is an obligatory, it's a criteria subject. So medical students have to do physical education 2 semesters, that is obligatory, and 4 semesters, that is recommended. And during those course of studies, they usually also attend gyms, but there are some, like a lot of opportunities offered by the university as well. However, the number of the students that those courses can accept might be limited. But parachuting, rowing, so there are a lot of options. Horse riding, a lot of, wall climbing, a lot of things are included. Bowling, yeah.
Anything.
But you know, the students are also forming the ISUS. They have a sports department, and there are basketball and football teams.
Soccer.
Yes, soccer teams, and even there is a soccer tournament that works during the whole course of like academic year. Of course, recently because of the pandemic, it's not, but it is also a good choice for those who do not want to continue the sport they have started at home. There is a dance team within the ISOs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another question is, when will the first entrance exam be, and what is the acceptance rate of the students in the entrance exams?
So the first date, we have already received some proposals. So actually the first entrance exam that is organized, the host is the university, will be in April 14th, but most probably there will be earlier dates. Like usually we start from the beginning of March to organize the entrance examinations. And like the number of students who successfully finish the exam is not depending on how many students are taking it at one time. So even if, like, let's say 30, 40 students are taking the exam, there might be that
we might accept all
who are okay. So like the standards are on individual basis. We have a rolling admission system. So then everyone who is okay or acceptable in one exam, we accept them. And of course, it's their decision. They have actually 14 days to decide if they accept that place or not. But the number of students who we accept, it's not depending on the number who are taking the exam at the same time, because you cannot predict. Sometimes there are only 20, sometimes there are 60 students. We take them all who are meeting our requirements.
Well, just to give you an idea how the selection is made, as I've already mentioned that the university exam consists of a written and an oral part. And both are or contribute to the final evaluation in the same percentage. So it is not enough to accelerate in the written and don't do well in the oral, or the other way around. So you need to achieve 50% in both, in the written and in the oral. So if you do a splendid written one and cannot answer the questions in the oral, that's not good, okay? So you need to prepare equally for both.
Yeah.
Got it. Can you speak in a bit more details about the structure of the entrance exam?
Yes, the entrance examination. So like there is a written part that is like consisting of 3 subjects: biology, chemistry, and English language. If the student is choosing to take the exam that is organized by the university itself, then instead of chemistry, they can choose physics as a subject as well. There are 20 multiple choice questions in biology, 20 multiple choice questions in chemistry, and 60 multiple choice questions in English language, out of which 20 is medical English. And in the English language part of the test, there are like text that they have to understand and answer the questions. Like, you know, there are 4 answers are given and they have to choose the right one on the basis of how they understand the test. So not only choosing A, B, or C like words, but sometimes it's like how they understand the text itself. And if it's an online exam, they have 120 minutes to do the test online. Usually we ask them to show up like 10-15 minutes before the exam actually would start. And in case of online examinations, it's a must that they have 2 devices because we Zoom the exam. So they have to show up on another screen that we see them, while they have to be able to access the course space that is the actual platform of the exam. They will get a few instructions from my colleagues before they would start, and then usually it's 9 o'clock in the morning that when we start, and then the system is opening up and we can completely track back how they follow the exam. They have the opportunity to chat us on the Zoom surface. If they just talk with the written part, we can see where they are at that moment. And I don't know, sometimes it's just that the refreshing is enough to go on. And then since it's automatic, the system is automatically closing after 120 minutes. And we will get the results. Of course, they cannot see it yet because, as Andrea said, it's a complex decision. And on the same day, usually, or in case of online exams, we used to follow a new procedure. Then the next, like 1 or 2 or 3 days, it depends on how many examiners we have, how many professors, and how many students are taking the exam at the same time. They are scheduled for an oral examination. They will get all the information via email from our office, and they will get the link and then the password, and then they have to join again, mostly Zoom meeting. And then at that time, they will meet the professor who is conducting the oral examination. And it's the same as Andrea said, that of course, after a few warm-up questions, just to reduce the anxiety, or I don't know, if sometimes they are nervous, then they exactly getting professional questions in biology and chemistry in English language. And when that exam is over, like usually because since, we already have the written result, we will have the oral result from the professor, but who is deciding is an admission board. So all the results are put in front of the admission board, and they are making their decisions, and the students are getting that decision through the online application system. Within, let's say, if it's the second exam, we used to do it like quite shortly, within a few days, but not more than a week. If it's a face-to-face exam, actually it's the same, but the students are sitting in the classroom, and then, they are working on paper worksheet, and usually the oral exams are on the same day, later in the afternoon, if it's organized here in Szeged, because then it's just, we can solve it within 1 day. So they then have to, stay more days here if they don't want to. But last year, in this last term, we did all exams online, and this was the way how they went.
Thank you.
At the moment, we are planning to do online exams. However, once everything goes back to normal, then we will most probably have, again, face-to-face examinations, which we also conduct abroad. But at the moment, the faculty is planning to do online exams next year.
Thank you. So all exams next year are going to be online, as it seems now?
It seems so. Of course, it depends on the pandemic situation, but
if everything is okay by spring and they say that everyone can travel and no virus anymore, then of course, I mean, we like to see the students in person.
This is the preferred way of conducting the exams. So
the impressions
the faculty is going to stick to that most probably. But as for the moment, online.
Thank you. Ophir, there is a question. How was the entrance exam for you? I know we know you passed it. Was it very difficult?
No, I don't think it was very difficult. Similar to the others, and it went well. So
yeah,
we have sample tests and topics on our website, so they can check the level, what is required in biology and chemistry.
Mm-hmm. And the interview, was it very difficult for you, Ophir, the oral exam?
No, also it was on the same topics of the written exam. And no, it was like he was really nice, the examiner as well. So it was
I remember Ophir's result. He did a very good job, scored very well.
Okay, thank you. Students, do you have more questions to the university or to Ophir? Okay, I would like to thank you very much for this meeting. Thank you very much for the introduction. It was very informative. Ophir, thank you very much for joining us. I know it's not easy as a second-year medical student. Thank you for finding the time. And I wish all of you, I wish all of us a good weekend, and let's stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Okay, stay safe.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yes, same to you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Okay. Stay safe.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.